Hello and welcome back. It's the 8th of November. This is update 7. And an awful lot of stuff has happened since we last spoke to you, because it's been 2 weeks, and the reason why there's been a bit of a gap, we were hoping to go for weekly ones, but there's been a bit of a gap simply because there's been so much happening. We haven't really had the opportunity to kind of sit down and process all of it until now. But yes, I guess we need to rewind, because the last time we spoke to you, we were worrying about the transport, really, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that anymore, and we're going to tell you why, because the first thing that basically happened after we last spoke to you was on the 26th of October. We went over to Sheffield and we had a look at the boat again. And that looked a little bit like this. Back with the boat. It might not look different, but it is.
It's a lot of welding.
Yeah.
It's got the engine room in there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room in there, is there, really? I mean, and it's amazing how much of a difference it makes just having a wall there, you know? It's like, suddenly you can just see a lot more of the structure of the boat. I remember last time you weren't very happy with me not taking enough shots of the front of the boat. Yeah, it's lovely just the kind of surfaces you get, and yeah, just being able to see all the welds.
But this is not going to be an open front, it's going to be a tibby front.
Yeah.
So if that's all the way down there, is that going to be our bedroom?
So yeah, it was really exciting to sort of see the boat again. One of the other big advantages of that day was that we were able to actually, we'd spoken to the boat builder about possibly being able to get a quote for transporting the boat. And we kind of asked him again that day, and he said, "Oh yeah,
I'll just ring up the guy now."
Yeah, so he rang up the guy there and then, and the result was a lot nicer than we were expecting.
Yeah, it's only going to be £300 to get it from Sheffield to Nottingham.
Yeah.
To Red Hill Marina. We went and spoke to the guys at Red Hill Marina, and they said they'd put it in the water for, I think it was 200 plus VAT. Or was it 250?
I think it was 200 plus VAT, because it'll basically be about 250 as a result of that.
So it's not going to be that much more expensive than it was going to cost us to sail it down.
Yeah, we were very surprised by that.
All the expenses we would have had to have paid out for sailing it down, like CB radio course, CB radio, the cost of fuel, all the bits
and
and
just
bobs,
supplies and
like setting up the navigation lights and everything, the wiring.
Yes, an anchor. We would have needed an anchor.
And we don't need any of those things for a while if we're
Yeah.
going to get transported.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to sort of delay it that way. And yeah, it was actually we were suggested Red Hill Marina by the transport guys, because the one big advantage of Red Hill Marina, it's a marina that's about 11 miles outside of Nottingham.
It's very much a working marina. There's a lot of boat builders there, isn't there?
Yes, it's very
two or three.
It's very busy,
and they've got a lot of boats on hard standing out of the water.
Yeah.
And they've got like these big cranes that they can sort of get. These big boat cranes, they're like big sort of square scaffolding things with massive wheels on them.
Yeah, they're very dramatic, and this is the big advantage with Red Hill Marina, because it's about the only marina around here that actually has its own crane. Because if we tried to do this anywhere else, we would have had to actually pay out for crane hire.
Castle don't have a crane in Colic.
Yeah, and we spoke to Castle Marina, and they sort of said, oh yeah, that'll probably be £700 for the crane, and we were like, But yeah, I mean, even once we just like found out about the just the transport costs, just like £300 was such a weight off because I mean, like everything we'd looked at had said, oh yeah, sort of £1,000, £1,200 for transport at least. And so we were kind of bracing. That was one of the things about finding out that we weren't going to be able to do that sort of adventure camping out on the boat thing. Because I was kind of torn between being relieved and also going, oh, thank God we don't have to do that. But it was the money. It was the money that was really like, no, I don't want to have to spend that much money. But,
It's fine.
it's fine. That's the thing. It's all fine.
So anyway.
It was great to see the boat for that second time, although it was kind of... It's a thing about progress in boat building.
They had done an awful lot of welding.
Yes.
It was all the little fiddly bits inside. They put...
Because it...
All the... What are they called? The ribs? Braces? I don't know.
Yeah, but there was an awful lot that they'd done to it, but kind of the first look we got at it that day... I was like sort of walking along thinking, oh, how much are they going to have done? How different is it going to look? And we got there and I was like, that looks exactly the same as it did last week. And then once you look closer, you can actually see there's an awful lot.
Welding.
Yeah, a lot of welding. The engine room was in. The areas for the ballast were in. All like the bow was looking tidier. The stern was looking tidier. There's a lot of work that goes. It's once you actually start seeing it and seeing the stages, you kind of appreciate the amount of work that does go into a boat like this. And yeah, once I got over the initial, oh, it's looking the same. It was genuinely exciting, and it was cool to sort of see it and just get a sort of idea of the way that the progress is going.
And then we went up the next week. There was even more progress.
There was,
they
yes.
They got the cabin sides on.
Yes,
they haven't got the roof on, but they got the sort of. They put the. I don't know what they're called.
The walls. I'll just call them walls, basically.
Yeah, the sort of the bracing things, and they put the sides on, and the roof was on the floor.
Yes. We were kind of walking along, and there was this big metal bit on the floor, and we realised,
the metalwork for the bow thruster.
Yes, because there was this nice, there was this sort of interesting, because the bow thruster basically works that the actual thruster is sort of like in the middle, and there are two tubes on either side, and it kind of fires either way depending on which way you need, and it was kind of cool seeing that there as well, and again, there'd been more little bits of welding done. What's the name of those things? And of course,
those things.
Yeah.
Are you talking about I don't know what the name is. The sort of the little sort of all the detailing on the outside of the boat.
Yes.
Sort of like go faster stripes.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of.
So
I think
little tiny ribs on the.
I think they help.
Outside,
yes, I think they help with water flow.
Yeah, and they give they emphasise the shape of the Joshua front because it's got this lovely sort of curved front. And it definitely, because when we first saw it, it didn't have those on, and I was like, is that actually a Joshua? But once it got those in, it's like, oh, you can see the curve now.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it's kind of, and again, it's...
we got upsold and rivets.
Oh, well, slightly. Yes, because one of the things you...
A boat like this should have rivets.
Yes, basically. I mean, we didn't actually get any sort of footage of. We can't actually show you a boat with rivets, but it's got a part of the whole working boat look, and because of the fact that it's going to be very, very close to a traditional working boat, because we have the front. Although I have realised that we have missed out one thing.
Oh yes.
We made oops. Rewinding.
Yeah, first week we went up. We sort of we phoned him a couple of days beforehand. We were like, we could put the cabin on yet.
It was a bit tentative because essentially, now
we're sort of changed our mind about something.
Yes, there is this one detail because of the fact that
right at the last minute.
Yeah, we're having an enclosed bow with as we've described, the tippy front, sort of arched front, and we were going to have hatches in that. Partly
that would open. I could never get my hands to do this right, like that.
Like that, beautifully done.
Sort of to the sky.
Yes, sort of for access, for light and air, and it's an idea that we've had for ages. It felt like the right thing to do, but
I guess we wanted access in the front.
Yes, very much. I mean, that's when you're having an enclosed bow, it's really important to have some kind of access there, because otherwise, if there's a fire or something, your nearest exit, if you've got the bedroom at the front of the boat and you've got an enclosed bow, your nearest exit is about like 50 feet in the opposite direction, and that's not good.
It's no good just putting a Houdini hatch in the ceiling because they're really hard to climb out of.
Yes. So we were sort of that had been like part of the design for ages, and we were really happy with it. But then I think it was because
it was playing on our minds.
And the Jonathan Wilson, the boat builder, who was actually sort of like he'd sort of said a few points. Are you sure you want to do that? Sure about that? Because he wasn't certain, and particularly in terms of leaks, he wasn't sure about being able to. He said that we'd have to work out ways of preventing the leaks from happening, because obviously it's an angled roof. It's not impossible that it might end up leaking. And you ended up wobbling because of your experience with soft top cars, didn't you?
Yeah, leaks in vehicles are not fun to deal with.
Yeah, we were. Emma had a car for up until about sort of a year ago, and it was a soft top. It was lovely, but it did also have a very long and complicated history of leaks. Yeah. So we were also both wobbling just over the uses of fire exit and whether it wasn't sitting right. There was just something that was niggling at the both of us that it wasn't sitting right. So.
But we gained 6 inches off the engine room, which made it possible to shift everything around.
You should possibly explain why that was.
Oh yeah, because we're having a beta marine engine. They're slightly smaller than other brands of engines.
Yes,
so we can have a 4-foot engine room rather than a 4'6" one.
Yeah. As a result, that meant...
And 6 inches makes a big difference.
Yes, that gave us an extra 6 inches, and that helped very much, because essentially what we did was we moved the hatches from the bedroom, and this is going to sound a little bit odd, we moved them into the bathroom. There is going to be glass on these, and it's going to be frosted glass. It's just in terms of actually... It'll still work because the bathroom is basically right next to the bedroom, and the windows will be the windows on them will be detachable, and they'll work perfectly well as hatches, and it'll make the bathroom lighter, and we'll still have access that way.
Yes, they won't leak because they won't go to the angle.
Exactly. No. It'll. I think it'll all work quite nicely, but it was a little bit nervous, especially when we called. It was just that sort of that realization that we were approaching the point of no return. We were approaching the point where, because it's cool seeing the boat, but it is also the point where decisions that are made now you're stuck with, really. So it's been exciting all the way along, and. But yeah, that's the situation where we are at the moment, and we're kind of we're doing some sort of heavy planning right now, just because there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be able to do once we get the boat.
We've been sat down, we've been talking about electrics, we've been watching loads of 12-volt wiring things on YouTube, and sort of getting hold of a copy of the what's it called, the boat safety standards.
Yes, which is a little bit... Well, we need to call them, because getting a physical copy does not seem to be easy. It's one of these things where...
There's a PDF available.
Yes, but it's like we need a physical copy. Yes.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing some more woodwork soon.
Yes.
Because we're going to sort out the woodwork for the there are channels just below the gunnels, like in sort of proper boat designers always put a sort of a channel to hold all of the sort of the wires and pipes. And stuff.
Basically imagine a square C shape. It's along those lines.
It's suspended just below where the gunnels are, so it sort of sits just there. If you imagine that, this is the inside of the boat.
I feel like a diagram would be more useful at this moment, but you know, what the hell. But yeah, we're going to be putting that together, and it's a lot of wood because we've got to cover both sides of a 60-foot boat. So you know, do the maths. That's a lot of wood, but that's something fairly easy that we can do. And once those are in, we should be able to actually start pretty soon after that doing the electrics and the plumbing.
Yeah, the plan is to sort of do those first. Get them done and sorted.
Yeah.
As much as we can.
And checked by people who actually know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have BSS examiners at Red Hill, I think, so I think we might sort of go back there and say, have we done this right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm perfectly happy to get as many people as possible to check it because, you know, we're going to be living on this. We'd rather it didn't burn down. So yeah, we've got all that excitement to look forward to, and we will be bringing you some of the wonderful highlights once we enter the wonderful world of wiring, because I'm sure it'll be exciting and not terrifying in any way whatsoever.
I think a lot of it's just going to be crimping.
Yes, crimping does.
Crimping.
Yes, there seems to be an awful lot of crimping involved in 12 volt, which is strange and mysterious. But we'll, you know, we've got that to look forward to. It'll be exciting and tremendous viewing for you, I'm sure. But yeah, that's our situation at the moment, and we should hopefully be getting a look at the boat again this week, as long as everything goes according to plan. I mean, the woodworking that we're doing is sort of dependent on garage things being sorted out with your dad, but we'll be getting there, and we'll be able to do that soon. So that's the situation that we've got at the moment, and we'll be back with you soon to update you again. Hope you've enjoyed this. Hope this has been useful. If you've got any sort of questions or if there's anything you want to know, fire it our way. And we'll be back with you again very soon. So until then, bye-bye.
Sorry, I kept kicking you because you were going on.
I was, bloody hell, it's like...